If you want to save and reduce manual work in Jira, these 5 automations are totally game changers, even if you are not in tech. Hi, I'm Celine, and today I'm showing you 5 easy Jira automations for marketing, HR, operations, or sales teams. Let's keep it very simple and practical. And the first automation on our list will be auto-assign on status change. So, for example, marketing approval flow. When a task moves to ready for approval status, it gets auto-assigned to the marketing manager. So you don't have to remember to ping your boss or change the assignee. Jira does it for you. So for example, a designer finished a banner, they move the task to ready for approval, and Jira instantly assign it to Anna, the head of marketing. So each rule has to have trigger, then action, and between them we can also add some conditions. So our first rule is about to assign the user to the ticket when the transition is made. So first of all, let's add a trigger. It will be work items transitioned. Then we have to choose from which status to which one. So from in progress to in review. Next, let's add an action. This is a very simple automation. We don't need any condition right now. So then add an action, assign work item, and here we can choose which user. So let's find me. And next, and that's all, turn on rule. We have to name this one. Here you can also decide who can edit this rule, and let's turn it on. And now let's see if this is working. So right now we have our board, and let's see if this ticket will be assigned to me in review status. Let's open it, let's give it a minute, and as you can see, it's working perfectly. So this is a setup for auto-assign your issue in specific status. Okay, the second one, recurring tasks. For example, weekly and monthly routines in every team. So we need to set up Jira to create tasks automatically every week, every month, or even daily or yearly. For example, send newsletter draft to the team, check ad campaign performance, or run some report. No one has to remember, task just appears when it's time. So let's set it up and let's see how you can do it. Okay, so this automation is also quite simple to set up. First of all, the trigger is scheduled, and now date and time of starting it. So for example, first day of month, we can put 8 a.m. here. Here you can choose your time zone and decide if you want, for example, to run this automation, for example, free time or all the time, or to stop it on exact date. And now let's choose occurrence, so once per month, on the first day of the month, and once again 8 a.m. Okay, and now then action, create work item. You can decide if you want to make it in this project or in other project. Of course, if you are an admin and you have access to it, but let's stay in the same project. You can also choose the work item type. So let's do it as a task. And here if you want to choose more fields to pre-filled, you can also do it. So for example, let's go with assignee and due date. And now let's do it as a one monthly newsletter. So for example, newsletter, and here you can also choose some smart values. So for example, if I want to make it also like a newsletter for June, newsletter for May, let's choose the variables that will tell you created date, month, description, put whatever you need, sending the newsletter, assignee. You can use some things from it, but also you can choose the specific user as, for example, me. And then when it comes to the due date, variables once again for rescue. So for example, we can add that you have 1 week for it. And that's all. You can put next, turn on rule, remember to name it, recurring tasks, and let's turn it on. Okay, so this one is a little bit more difficult to set up, but still worth it and worth your time. So, number 3, create follow-up tasks when a task is done with label. So, simple use case. When a task is marked done and it has a label, for example, social ready, Jira creates the tasks automatically to create social media campaign about, for example, blog. So a copywriter finishes a blog, the task has a label social ready. When it's done, Jira creates a new task. Create LinkedIn post for a new blog. We can add here subtask. We can create more than one tasks. We can assign this to the social media person and also set the due date, for example, for tomorrow or for the next week. This keeps your work flowing without any manual tracking. So let's jump into Jira and let's see the setup. So the goal of this automation is to create a new work item after this task with this label, social media ready, will hit the done. So let's go to automations and let's create a new one. So first of all, transition from status in review to status done. Next, we need to add a condition. So condition will be work item fields condition. Let's choose label here equals, and we can match it with our label. Next, then create work item. In the same project, we can create, for example, LinkedIn work item type, and once again choose fields to set. For example, in summary, we want to put the title of the work item that was a trigger. So we can use a variable, for example, trigger issue summary, LinkedIn carousel. So right now we will have the title of the blog always automatically put here, and then LinkedIn carousel. Prepare a post for LinkedIn, for example. Now, we can end it on, once again from the one. Okay, one. Now we can end this automation like this, but it can be developed much more further. So for example, we want also to create step task for this newly create LinkedIn work item. So let's do a branch. And if we want to add a branch role here, we need to create most recently created work item. So it will be all about this create new action. And we can do add action, create work item, and here subtask, for example, graphics. And parent will be current work item. We can also create a subtask for trigger work item, but it's not our goal here. We want to put this subtask under this LinkedIn work item. You can also put this automation with more than one label. For example, you can create the automation if label is social media ready, or if label is, for example, success story ready, and then create more branches about what to do next. But let's turn on this rule right now. It will be blog content pausing and turn on. Okay, now something really useful for customer support teams, Slack notifications. So You can keep your teams informed in real time, and you can connect Jira with Slack to send updates when key action happens. So, for example, when a high priority task is created in the customer issues project, we can send alert to channel for support team. So it's perfect for busy teams who sometimes can't be up to date with Jira, and when some very important happens, they can still be notified. Now let's work a little bit with Slack integration. So we need a notification from Jira to Slack on exact channel when the create issue has the highest priority in concrete project. So first of all, the trigger will be work item created. Next, let's add a condition. First of all, let's choose the project equals, and now you have to define your project. I will use marketing because I don't have any customer support here. But then also, if priority equals highest or high, whatever you have in your configuration, then and send Slack message. Right now, we need to configure your Slack with Jira. So here you can configure an incoming webhook. We're going here. You can choose channel here. I've created a new one for this as support. And let's copy that one. Go back here. I just pasted here the webhook URL we've just created and the message. For example, the new ticket needs to be reviewed. And once again, channel. Now let's turn on this rule, Slack notification support, and let's see if it's working. Right now we need to create a task on our board with like test with highest priority, and let's see if we have our Slack notification. Okay, and here we are, automation for Jira, the new ticket needs to be reviewed. You can also put, using variables, you can put the work item code here to link it and to make it quicker to open. So yeah, that one was also a quick one. And the very last on our list, number 5, is auto-assigned based on issue type or component. So we already talked about assigning work items to a specific person when we have transition, when the task is changing the status. But right now, let's talk about instant ownership of new tasks. So when someone creates a new task, Jira can assign it automatically based on what work item it is, or what label it is, or for example, what component it belongs to. Examples. All tasks with type recruitment can be assigned to HR manager. Tasks with component design can be assigned to lead designer, or for example, IT support tickets can go directly to IT help desks. So this automation can save you from no more unassigned tasks floating around without any assignee and person responsible for it. Let's use here the HR use case. So first of all, when work item is created, then let's put a condition here, work item fields condition, and issue type equals recruitment. Then let's assign it, this work item, to a selected user who is responsible for recruitment. So easy peasy, super quick automation that can save you lots of errors, and you can also develop it more further, for example, with when issue type equals the offboarding, then assign it to the different user, but branches are a little bit more comprehensive. So let me know if you also need the video based on that. Turn on the rule, we need to name it recruitment. And that's it. Okay, so that was my go-to 5 easy Jira automations for busy teams. They save time, they reduce human error, and just simple work. So if you are curious about more advanced or technical setups, just click here and check the next video.